Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Vickie, really the Rock and Roll Prophetess. And here it is. We're going to take a look at this big full moon that's on March 20th. Now the full moon itself is actually in Libra, 0 Libra, but it's also the same on the same exact day as we're having this equinox, which is conjunct this Chiron. So it's a huge, huge day. I am offering that equinox chart that deals with the 0 point of Chiron, and it's at the time, because the equinox happens a little bit earlier in the day, a few hours early. I'm not sure exactly how many right now, but it's the same. It's all happening on March 20th Eastern time. But at the time when this goes 0, actually the moon is over here. I believe at 27 Virgo. So when I do your equinox reading, I'm reading it as 27 Virgo, and I think that we should also consider that in this chart, because that is such a huge event that is happening earlier that day. The moon is in orb of being full, but we have this unique situation where it's going to change signs, in a couple hours and move to 0. So you should also consider the Virgo energy. I think we will kind of look that over a little bit today. By watching this, well, if you've never seen my readings before, first of all, I'm starting out with the astrology, but it's definitely a psychic reading. And as we roll along, it gets more and more psychic, and my guides, chime in quite a bit usually during these readings. So it's not astrology by the book, and if it starts out to be a little bit too astrology for you, maybe try to hang in there, because it does loosen up as we move forward with it. What else was I going to say? I like to laugh and joke around. I don't take myself too seriously, so if you have a problem with that, then this might not be the forecast for you as well. Oh, I've looked at this chart. Well, I've looked at the equinox chart in depth, because I've been doing those readings for people. And by the way, you can get that till the end of the month. So there's some key things that I know that are happening at that time. But the benefit of getting it related to you personally is we look at how these transits are affecting your chart specifically. And it's also a psychic reading too. But there's a whole lot going on here that I've already, looked into at length. And I already have some opinions, or not opinions, but some insights, that I've been sharing while doing the other readings. That may come forth through this too, but hopefully we're going to get some new information as well. So yeah, the full moon in Libra. Let's just start there. Full moon in Libra opposed the sun at 0 Aries, the equinox point. This is a big turning point, the equinox. That's why I offer those readings. This is the astrological new year. This is where it all begins, because the Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we're starting anew. We're making a new beginning, and it's a huge new beginning every year. This year, it's more intense because of the conjunction with Chiron. Now, as the Aries thing happens every year, but the Chiron thing does not. It's about a 50-year time frame. So it's roughly 50 years since it's been conjunct Chiron. So this is really giving... Chiron's been dipping in and out of... it was in Aries for a little while, and then it went back into Pisces. It's been in Pisces for some years. And the Chiron in Pisces was very... it's very... Because Chiron energy in general is where we wound ourselves continually over and over again. So it's where we doubt ourselves. It's where the little voice in our head comes in that says, no, you can't. Or it also... The Chiron in Pisces, too, is like shame and... you're not your self-worth, and where you sabotage yourself and things of this nature. So it's been wallowing around in there, and wallowing is exactly the right word, for some time. It's already come into Aries a little bit ago, but now with this equinox energy, it's really coming full force. It's a message to everyone to take action, because Aries is a sign of action. So it's a time that we need to really take action. It's a time to stop wallowing and crying about spilled milk and what went wrong. And it's time to take charge, do something about it. Speaking of this Piscean energy, at the time of the equinox and at the time of this full moon, there is a Mercury-Neptune conjunction. So that's always, that's very Piscean energy. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, so it's really strong Pisces energy. And the downside of it can be like this victim and wallowing and just all the stuff I just talked about. But the upside of it, there's always an upside. So the upside of this energy is psychic and spiritual downloads. Really getting, being able to make sense of these things. Because, you know, we're swimming in it all the time. We're swimming in the Neptunian energy. It's always present. It's always present. You know, and it is the psychic, the spiritual, our dreams, our intuitive hunches, our things that sometimes when it's just Neptune on its own and in the sign of Pisces, it's not really tangible. It's like just, or like, it could be like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Well, when the Mercury gets there, you can spit it out. It's not on the tip of your tongue anymore. You know, it's right there. It's not, Mercury in Pisces alone is not such a great energy because it's real different. Mercury is very mental and thinking fast on your feet and quick-wittedness and, you know, book smart brain work and things like that. But when they come together, the upside could be, well, the downside could be it could be foggy. You could get some brain fog out of this. The upside could be being able to take that stuff that's floating around in the ether, those dreams, those intuitive hunches, those tip of the tongue things that are just there, and grab them, get a hold of them, and articulate them, speak them out, make sense of them. This could absolutely, in Pisces, this could be some memories coming up, like suppressed memories. It doesn't have to be that you necessarily suppressed it because it was traumatic, although that could be true for some. There could be some traumatic suppressed memories coming through, remembering of them. But it could just be things that you just forgot about. If it were some kind of suppressed thing that was, you know, then this Aries could come through as a lot of rage. You know, this could really ignite that rage and that, you know, to want to do something about it. Victim no more. You know, I forget who's that. So that's Michael Beckwith, one of his books. I used to listen to it on tape all the time when it first came out, and that stuck with me so strong. Victim no more. That could be the mantra for the Aries energy here, the Chiron and Aries, and then this Equinox energy coming into Aries. Victim no more. And rage is better than depression, I would say. At least with rage you're taking an action. I think there's a whole thing about that. It's like the stages of grief, but there's this other incremental thing that's not the stages of grief, but something else like that. Like you're depressed, then you become angry, and then that's it's like lighting a fire in you, but it's positive. You don't want to stay in anger, but it's a positive, it's the next step of coming out of depression. If anybody knows that, I think it's some psychological principle. You may want to post it in the comments, but it doesn't really matter. But it's positive, and it can be positive. And this equinox is all about becoming empowered. Another reason that it's really becoming empowered is because at this time of this chart and the full moon and the equinox is we have the Venus-Lilith conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. This is great, powerful energy to be freed of things, freedom through the Uranian Aquarius energy. And I say Uranus because it's Uranian energy, same thing. But if you've never seen my videos, these are the first house, Aries, Mars, all the same energy. You know, Uranus rules Aquarius, Neptune rules Pisces, so that's why I say these things. But anyways, Uranian energy, Aquarian energy, we want freedom. We don't want to be held down by the past. And with Lilith being there and the Aries energy together, these are things that we're going to stand up for ourselves about. This is very powerful energy for breaking through, breaking free and breaking through, but breaking free of restraints that have held us back. And with Venus, it's going to probably tie into love for a lot of us. Loyalties are going to come into question. Have we stayed in situations where, because we're loyal? You know, Venus also rules money. Venus rules money, and it rules love. I always go to the love. That's my go-to vibration with Venus, and I think most people's. Venus is the goddess of love. But it rules money and prosperity. So are we in a work situation where, you know, out of loyalty we stay there even though maybe there's better opportunities elsewhere? Are we do we take a bunch of crap from people or let them restrain us or put us down or box us in some way because we love them or because there's some kind of loyalty thing going on? You know, I just realized there's actually a mutual reception, which is because we have Venus in Aquarius And then we have Aquarius and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus. And Taurus, that's Venus is ruled by Taurus. Aquarius is ruled by, so there's this mutual reception. There's this breaking free of the Venusian energy, and it's coming in a couple different ways here. So we're breaking free out of old monetary things and stuff like that, yes. And this is also, involved in this moon for sure. It's at 0 degrees and the equinox. So this 0 and the part of fortune is there at the 1 degree. So these are turning points. But it's breaking free, yes. We're breaking free from the restraints of the old paradigm, financial systems and things like that. That's the more long-term vibration with the Uranus. But with the Venus energy, and it's in Taurus, which is Venus also, we can relate it to love. We could relate it to breaking out of restrictive relationships, being loyal to love at all costs. Even if there's self-sacrificing ourselves because of love. No, that's not this energy. This is like having a realization. Like, you know what? I've sacrificed myself enough. It's time for me to live my life the way I want to live my life. And I still love you, but I'm going to be free. That's a huge thing. This Venus-Lilith conjunction is also, oops, I just want to move that little crumb off there. It's also squaring the Mars, which brings about friction. And the Mars is also in Taurus, which is this Venus energy again. So when you try to break free of things, sometimes, even if you have really best intentions, like say even if it's like a job that you've been at a long time, but you want to do something else, it's not personal. It's not personal. It's business, the old saying. But somebody could really take it personal. Or even if you say, look, we just don't, in relationships, we just don't really want the same thing anymore. I feel really restricted. I need to be free. I need to spread my wings. I need to fly. The other person may not see it that way. It might be difficult to have a clean break. You might have to be a little bit, listen, back off. There could be a little bit of that going on for some people. There could be a little bit of the other party not understanding or not wanting to let you go. The Venus-Mars square brings about some friction in that area. The other thing that's in orbit at the time of this, and if you get the equinox reading, these are all the things that I will be looking at and as it relates exactly to your chart. But this is the big dog. This is going to be exact for a little while, but it sure is there. It's an orb. We've got Saturn, Pluto, and South Node in a conjunction down there in stellium. So this is some heavy duty stuff here. Pluto and Saturn, these are, and I believe I looked it up the other time, or it's right around 1990. It's 89, 90, 91. We had a similar thing. We had Saturn in its own sign in Capricorn, and it was conjunct a few other planets. It was Neptune and Uranus, I think, at the time. So, first of all, Saturn in its own sign, in the sign of Capricorn. That, just like Neptune in Pisces, this really empowers it. This really makes it stronger. It's come home to roost, and it's as it was the last time, being right around 1990. In 1990, it was also joined by some other powerful players, different powerful players. But not only is it empowered in its own sign, but it's got these other big dogs like sort of coming in and joining it and really, really making it an area of focus. Well, as it is in your chart, with the South Node, it's going to be past life stuff is coming into play. The past is coming into play. We don't, you don't have to go into past life karma, but that's truly what it is. The South Node is past life stuff. That's the kind of thing I really, one of the most things that I look at if I do your soul reading is I look at your South Node, along with other things, but that's one of the major things that come into play. So the South Node, in a way similar to Chiron, can be where we continually wound ourselves. It's where we screwed up. It's where where we effed up in the past. It's where we're trying to clean up some messes. It's where what we're here to work on. When there's a big transit with the South Node, these things are going to come up, things that we screwed up in past lives and that. But people, we're going to be closing with Pluto and Saturn. We're closing chapters. They're telling me. So we're going to be closing chapters of people from the past, whether it be past life or just this incarnation or both. I had a nodal return recently, and a lot of people that I haven't heard from or seen in a very long time all of a sudden showed up again, you know. Mostly through social media. I haven't really run into any of them, you know, in the flesh, but some of it good, some of it pretty, some of it can be pretty, you know, Plutonian, tumultuous, stirring up some old memories. Not all of them of happiness and fun, you know. So it's really, really powerful. But I think it's like the time to come full circle with these things. It's time to really release these, and that would be more in your personal life and as it would relate to your personal chart. So on a global level, it's like things are coming full circle with the Saturn and the Capricorn type of energy, with the government, with the powers that be, with big, you know, captains of industry, you know, big power plays, things like that. This is all coming full circle too, and coming to a head. And it's going to, Aries energy is going to make it more proactive. The Aries vibration is very much proactive, or in your own chart maybe where you should be proactive, or where the energy is conducive for you, or like it's the wind beneath your wings, you know, to push you forward and to be more proactive, because you can ride that wave, because there's that extra boost of energy going on. You're not fighting against anything. I mean, Mercury is retrograde still at this time. I think it's going to go direct somewhere around the 28th of March or something, so a week or so later. But it's still the time to get fired up, the time to get charged up, the time to make a plan, you know, things of this nature. Let me look at the thing here, because those are the things that I really go over with you if you get that reading. Let me just see. There's a Jupiter square Mercury. Oh, that's a pretty wide orb there. Yeah, this is all trining the Mars, it's saying. Yeah, it is. Pluto's trining Mars. So again, and the South Node, again, there's this, you know, I want to get charged up. I'm going to do something about it. I'm antsy. I got ants in my pants. You can't sit around wallowing, you know, in the, oh wow, I was going to pull out a deck because a card came to mind. And this one card was faced the wrong way. And, oh, there's two. Huh. These were facing the wrong way. That's funny. But what I was going to show you guys, what I was trying to do, this one, I was looking for this card. That could be the downside of that Pisces energy. Oh, woe is me. Look at what went wrong. This happened, this happened, this happened. You know, looking at all the spilled cups, looking at spilled milk, everything that went wrong, and not paying attention to what's over here. There's opportunities. There's absolutely opportunities that are here for whatever it is. If it's in your regular life, you know, if you want to get a new job, you want to, you know, change whatever you want to change or take action about, but also, you know, on a global and a wider, bigger scope. With the Libra, you know, energy, it can be, you know, cooperation, working with others, forming partnerships to, you know, go up against some of these things that we're not happy about. It is it not? Let me think before I speak here. Well, no, not exactly. It is not exactly. But it's a time for action. And with Libra, we could find like-minded people. There's opportunities to go in the Libra direction, and that is connecting with others. That is partnerships. That is working together. But first, it seems as if there's some chains that need to be released. That's what they're showing me now. They're showing me like the Devil card. I normally don't pull tarot cards out with this either, but, you know, the Devil, part of the Devil card, if I can get it in focus, is these chains. And that's this stuff. Devil is the card of Capricorn and Saturn. So it is about being in bondage to the old. I'm hearing cooperatives. You know, we could, co-ops. We could form new cooperatives. We could form new co-ops. We could form new alliances, they're telling me. So new alliances can be made. and to forward your cause. This feels very much like fighting for a cause or banding together for a cause. You know, this is the kind of energy that's going on. That would be good for me, yes, the individual, but also for the collective, which is what Aquarius and the 11th house all rules. Uranus 11th Aquarius house. This is all about for good for all, for the community, for mankind or humankind. So it's good for me and it's good for the whole. And we could all join together to get these things happening at this time. Coalition. They're giving me a lot of words. Co-op, coalition. Yeah, so maybe these are the kind of things that we could be discussing. You know, this would be a great time, even though Mercury is retrograde. This absolutely would be a very good time for brainstorming, because you could just be, everybody could be tapped in. Yeah, I've had that happen before, where I'm brainstorming with a group, and something will pop into my mind, and then somebody else will say it first. Like we're all channeling from the same source here, you know, or even you could relate it to, you know, being in a band when you're writing music, you know, writing music with other people. You know, it's you're all channeling from the same source. You all have. I always said when I would, you know, bring a song and we'd all contribute, like it was a group effort that just kind of happened. I always felt like we all held different pieces to the puzzle, you know, and that could be in a lot of different things. So this would be a great time, you know, to the final solution. It doesn't have to be to a final piece of music or a song, which would be Neptunian, but the final solution to some problems that we're facing, or what we've been bitching and moaning about, basically, what we've been crying in our beer about, or crying over our spilt milk about. Well, what's the solution? Let's, you know, instead of blame and instead of blah, 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 this and you're wrong, this and that, blah, 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 running your mouth constantly, you know, well, what's the solution? You know, don't come at me saying that my idea sucks or my way sucks if you don't have a better solution, you know? Just being a naysayer all the time, that's not helping anything, you know? Debbie Downer, naysayer, you know, that's not getting us anywhere. Let's be solution oriented. Yeah, definitely, that's real strong. This could be, you know, solution oriented, because that's what Libra wants. Libra wants to find a solution. Libra wants a resolution. Libra wants everybody to be happy. Is everybody happy? That's an old one. Okay, how are we doing on the time? Yeah, we're getting to be about the end of it. Yeah, but this is basically, I mean, it's a little different because the moon is in Libra, but this is basically the chart that, if you order that Equinox reading, that I will look at specifically as to how it relates to you and tune into your energy for. So if you're interested in that, please do check it out. I think I have, you can find all that stuff. This is not the right page. You could find all that stuff on my website. So if you visit my website, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there, t-shirts and whatnot, you go to the readings tab, and it's very first top reading is the Aries Ingress personal reading, but there's a whole bunch of them. And if you're interested in that past life thing, where is that? I missed it here. Huh. Well, I do offer one. There it is, the Soul's Journey video reading. This is the past life astrology reading, and I have tarot card readings and all sorts of other stuff, you know, so do check it out. If you can't find my channel, you can always hit subscribe down there. Yeah, so the full moon in Libra on the same day, and carrying the power, it's carrying the power of this equinox, the ingress, the Aries ingress. It's a new season. It's turning over a new leaf. It's a change of season. And it's not only a change of season, but it's a change of the new year in astrology. So huge new beginnings. Time to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and get busy. Now they just told, that line from that movie just came in. They'll get busy living or get busy dying. So let's get busy living, you know. All right, everybody. So thanks so much for everything that you do, for tuning in and commenting and liking and sharing and purchasing my wares. I have a Patreon page if you want to check that out. I appreciate everything that you do. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great full moon in Libra and a great Equinox 2019 in Aries. Until next time. Bye.